The Zyrax dreadnought hung in orbit like a sleeping giant, its black metal skin reflecting the distant stars. Even damaged, even silent, the ship still felt alive, like something ancient was breathing beneath the surface. Marcus Hale stepped inside with a slow, careful breath. He was a human engineer, sent by the Earth Alliance after a shaky ceasefire between humans and the Zyrax Empire. Every human worker moved carefully. One wrong move, one wrong word, one mistake, and the Empire could break the peace. Everyone feared the Zyrax. But they feared their ruler, Queen Valria, more. Marcus tried not to think about her. The stories were enough. Planets burned. Armies crushed. Whole star systems kneeling at her feet. She was powerful, cold, and impossible to understand. But today, Marcus was focused on work. The dreadnought's inner decks were dark and wide, filled with purple glowlines that pulsed like veins. Alien symbols crawled across every wall. The silence made the ship feel like a giant beast waiting to wake up. Marcus tapped his scanner. Okay, let's get this system map. Should be easy. His teammate, Rourke, whispered, easy? On an alien death ship? Bro, you're crazy. Marcus laughed a little. Scared jokes were better than scared silence. They walked deeper, scanning broken conduits and strange organic tech. Thin mist floated around their feet. The smell was sharp, like metal mixed with lightning. Man, Rourke muttered, the Queen really lives here? In this creepy place? Marcus smirked. Well, to be honest, he whispered quietly, for a terrifying alien queen, she actually looks kinda impressive. The words slipped out before he could stop them. It wasn't a real compliment. More like nervous humor. Something to keep fear away. Rourke's eyes widened. Dude. Don't say stuff like that. These walls have ears. But Marcus shrugged. Relax, no one heard us. He was wrong. The air changed. A cold wave swept the hallway. The purple glowlines dimmed. Something sharp brushed the back of Marcus's neck, like a shadow passing through him. Rourke froze. His scanner beeped wildly. A deep vibration echoed down the hallway. And then, a tall shadow stretched across the floor. A figure stepped out of the darkness. Her armor glowed with shifting silver-blue energy. Her eyes burned like twin suns. Her crown was made of living crystal. The air bent around her as if the ship itself bowed. Queen Valria. Every human worker dropped to one knee instantly except Marcus, who stood frozen, unable to breathe or think. The Queen's gaze locked on him. Her voice cut through the silence, calm but sharp like a blade. Human, repeat what you just said. Marcus's heart slammed in his chest. He couldn't move. He couldn't speak. Every instinct screamed to run, but his legs refused. Your Majesty, Rourke whispered, trembling, he didn't mean. Silence, she commanded. Rourke fell quiet instantly, shaking. Marcus swallowed hard. Your Highness. But he didn't get to finish. Valria raised one hand. A soft blue glow wrapped around Marcus. His body lifted off the ground as if gravity forgot about him. He gasped, arms flailing. He felt weightless, helpless, trapped in invisible hands. The Queen stepped toward him, slow and confident. Her presence filled the hallway like a storm. You spoke of me, she said softly. You used the word, impressive. Marcus's heart raced. It was just a comment, I swear. I meant no disrespect. Her head tilted slightly. Disrespect? No. That is not what I sensed. Her eyes narrowed. Humans fear me. They bow. They tremble. Yet you. She leaned closer. You speak freely. Marcus's mind scrambled for words. I was only trying to. You were honest, she said. And honesty is rare. Even among my own. She moved her hand, and the energy lifted Marcus higher. He floated inches from her glowing crown. Her voice lowered to a dangerous whisper. Tell me, human. Why do you find me impressive? This was the moment he would live or die. Marcus took a shaking breath. Because, you're strong, he said. Because everyone follows you. Because even your enemies respect you. Because, you are everything a leader should be. The hallway went dead silent. For a long moment, the queen only stared at him. Her expression unreadable. Then, something in her eyes shifted. Interest. Curiosity. A spark of something rarely seen in the stories about her. The energy around Marcus softened. He dropped to the floor, but gently, as if she didn't want him hurt. He landed on his knees, too shaken to stand. Valria turned away for a moment, thinking deeply. When she looked back, her voice was calm but filled with something new. Human. You will come with me. Marcus blinked in panic. With you? Why? She didn't answer. She didn't give him time to ask again. A glowing royal guard stepped forward and opened a sealed door with a long, twisting symbol. The metal slid apart to reveal a room unlike anything Marcus had ever seen. The walls pulsed like living crystal. Floating shapes moved like slow planets. Energy vines crawled across the floor, humming softly. The air was warm and smelled like sweet minerals. Her royal chamber. Every human knew of it. No human had ever entered it. Some said anyone who did was never seen again. Marcus felt Rourke's hand grab his arm. Bro, don't go, Rourke whispered, voice shaking. She'll kill you. Valria turned her head slightly. Release him, she commanded. Rourke's hand dropped instantly. His face went pale. Marcus's legs felt weak. He didn't want to walk. He didn't want to be a part of this. But the queen didn't need to drag him, her presence alone pulled him forward like gravity. As Marcus approached the doorway, the chamber lights brightened, almost as if welcoming him. Valria stepped inside first, her silhouette glowing against the crystal walls. She looked back once, eyes locking onto his. Human, she said in a low, powerful voice, do not fear. You spoke truth. And truth has value. The door slammed shut behind them with a deep metallic thud. The sound echoed like a final heartbeat. Marcus Hale was now alone in the royal chamber. With the most dangerous queen in the galaxy. And whatever she wanted from him. There was no escape. The chamber door sealed behind Marcus with a heavy, final sound like a giant vault locking. No one outside could hear him now. No one outside could save him. Marcus stood still, breathing fast, feeling like a tiny insect trapped inside a glowing storm. The chamber looked alive. Crystals floated slowly in the air, spinning as if they were planets in a small universe. The floor was smooth and black, but silver veins flowed through it like rivers of energy. The walls shifted color with every breath the queen took, deep purple when she was calm, bright blue when she focused, sharp red when her power rose. Right now, the color was a dark, unreadable violet. Queen Valria walked to the center of the room, her long armor flowing behind her like smoke. She didn't look at Marcus at first. She let him feel the room. She let him understand where he stood. In her territory. Her domain. Her rules. Marcus swallowed hard. His voice shook. Your Majesty, why am I here? She raised a hand slightly, and the air shimmered. The door behind him glowed with the color of locked crystal. You ask many questions, she said. But you will get answers, only when I choose. Marcus felt a cold twist in his stomach. Valria finally faced him. Her glowing eyes studied him, not with anger, but with something more dangerous, curiosity. Tell me, human Marcus Hale, she said. When you called me impressive, why did you believe it? Marcus blinked. I already told you. You're strong. You're a leader. Your people. No, she interrupted. That was fear speaking. I want the truth beneath it. Marcus hesitated. This queen didn't want polite words. She didn't want safe answers. She wanted honesty. Raw honesty. So he took a slow breath. And said what he really thought. You're impressive because you don't hide what you are. The queen's eyes narrowed slightly. You have power, Marcus continued, and you don't pretend you don't. Humans, leaders, they hide weakness. They lie. They smile while planning murder behind the smile. But you're different. Valria tilted her head. Different. How? You show strength openly, Marcus said. And the whole galaxy feels it. Silence fell across the chamber. The crystals in the air stopped spinning. The walls shifted to bright blue. The queen stepped closer, and Marcus could feel heat from her armor. She looked down at him, not as a prisoner, not as prey, but as something harder to define. You speak boldly, she said. Boldness is rare among humans. Marcus let out a shaky laugh. Trust me. I don't feel bold. She walked past him, circling slowly, almost like she was studying a new creature. In my empire, Valria said, truth is a weapon. And those who speak it, often die by it. Marcus felt his throat tighten. Then she stopped behind him. He didn't dare turn around. But you, she said softly, you spoke truth without fear. You spoke it as if you did not care whether I heard. That was a mistake, Marcus said quickly. Her voice grew colder. No. It was a sign. A sign of what? She stepped in front of him again, so close he could see his reflection in her armor. That your mind is valuable. Marcus blinked. My mind? I'm just an engineer. Exactly, she said. Human engineers think differently. You see patterns that my people ignore. You create solutions from chaos. Her voice turned lower. And I need such a mind. Marcus froze. For what? The room answered for her. A deep roar vibrated the chamber like something massive was striking the dreadnought from the outside. The crystals shook violently. The lights flickered. Marcus stumbled. The queen didn't move at all. Another roar. Like claws against metal. Marcus whispered, what was that? Valria's eyes glowed brighter. A threat greater than humans or Zyrax. She raised her hand, and a translucent screen formed in the air. It showed shapes outside the ship, strange, crawling things made of black metal and pulsating flesh. The shroud swarm. Machines and organisms fused together. A hive mind that consumed everything in its path. They were silent, emotionless, endless. They should not be here, the queen said quietly. My generals believed the swarm would not reach this sector for 2 more cycles. They were wrong. Marcus stared at the monstrous forms. Why are they attacking you? They attack everything, Valria answered. But now, they have found us. And they will not stop. He turned to her, confused. You're the most feared queen in the galaxy. Why do you need me? The queen slowly approached him again. Each step echoed like thunder. Because the swarm does not fear me, she said. They do not understand fear. Or strength. Or power. She stopped only inches from him. But they do understand systems. Technology. Code. Logic. She tapped a finger lightly over Marcus's chest. Human logic. He stared at her. You want me to help fight them? I want your mind, she said plainly. Your perspective. Your experience. Something my empire lacks. Marcus shook his head fast. I'm just a repair engineer. I fix power lines. I open panels. I'm not a strategist. Her voice dropped to a whisper. And yet, your compliment pierced deeper than my enemy's weapons. He blinked. What does that even mean? It means, she said, you saw something others fear to see. She turned away and lifted her hand. The chamber walls split open, revealing a huge window. Marcus gasped. Outside the ship, thousands of Shroud Swarm creatures crawled across space, their bodies glowing with sickly green light. They were trying to tear into the Dreadnought's hull. They learn, Valria said. They adapt. Every second we delay, they become stronger. She faced Marcus with a decision burning in her eyes. You will help me stop them, she said. Or you will die with the rest of your kind. Marcus felt his legs weaken. He didn't want to die. But he didn't want to be used either. Still, he saw something in her expression that surprised him. She was not threatening him. She was trusting him. Queen Valria, destroyer of worlds, was trusting a human engineer. Before Marcus could answer, the entire ship jolted violently. A massive alarm burst through the chamber. The Queen's armor lit up. The swarm has reached the core shields, she said. She stepped toward him one last time. You spoke truth, human, she said, her voice almost soft. Now show me your courage. A moment later, the chamber floor opened into a glowing lift platform. The Queen descended. She looked up at Marcus. Come, she commanded. Stand at my side. Marcus Hale took one step forward. His life would never be the same again. The lift carried Marcus downward with the Queen standing ahead of him, her armor glowing with every pulse of the dreadnought. The deeper they went, the louder the ship trembled, like a wounded beast fighting for its life. Marcus's hands were shaking. He wasn't a soldier. He wasn't a hero. He was an engineer who fixed broken lights and cracked panels. And yet, today he stood beside the most feared queen in the galaxy. The lift opened with a hiss. Before him stretched the command arena, a huge circular room filled with hundreds of alien consoles, rising platforms, and floating symbols that changed shape in the air. Zyrax commanders shouted in their sharp language, their armor flickering with stress. Everyone stopped when they saw the Queen enter. A wave of silence rolled through the room. Queen Valria stood tall. Report. A commander bowed deeply. Your Majesty, the swarm has broken the outer barrier. Their cybernodes have infected our systems. We cannot hold for long. Valria's armor burned hotter. What of the core? Failing, the commander said. If the swarm reaches the inner conduits, they will devour the ship, the Queen finished. Marcus looked at the screen showing the Shroud Swarm. They crawled across the ship's hull like black insects. Some of them latched onto sockets and drilled inside. Others spat green energy that melted metal. Marcus's heart dropped. They're hacking you. The Queen turned to him. Explain. Marcus pointed at the screens. Those small nodes, they're sending signals inside your systems. They're using your own tech against you. It's not brute force. It's logic warfare. Zyrax commanders exchanged confused looks. Logic warfare, one repeated. Marcus nodded. They infect your system like a computer virus. Your tech is advanced but predictable. They're using that. Valria stepped closer. And you understand it? I think so, Marcus said. They use repeating patterns. Like human cyber attacks, but more complex. The Queen's eyes glowed. Show me. A console lit up before Marcus. The symbols shifted into a form he could understand, thanks to the Queen's telepathic interface. Marcus hesitated. If I touch this wrong, I could break something important. Valria whispered, then do not touch it wrong. Not comforting. But he pushed his fear down and examined the patterns. Strange, but familiar. Chaotic, but logical. Almost like. They're trying to override your core commands, Marcus murmured. But their code, it loops. It keeps repeating the same cycle. The Queen leaned closer. Meaning? It means, Marcus said slowly, they can be overloaded. If we feed their cycle too much data, they'll collapse. The Queen looked impressed. You believe we can turn their attack against them? Yes, Marcus said. But your people don't think like humans. They follow rules. They stay inside the system. He pointed at the wiring diagram. You need someone who thinks outside it. Valria stared at him for a long moment. Then she nodded once. Do it. Marcus's eyes widened. Wait, me? You want me to do it? Is that not what you suggested? She asked calmly. Well, yes, but. Then act. My empire does not survive on hesitation. Marcus took a deep breath. This was it. He began typing commands, rerouting energy through channels the Zyrax had never used before. The Queen watched silently, trusting him. Her commanders watched too, stunned that a human controlled their systems. One commander whispered, Your Majesty, he does not know our technology. Valria answered without looking away, he knows what we do not. Marcus redirected power, opened hidden circuits, and even bypassed a few security walls. The system complained in angry red warnings, but he ignored them. That will overload the conduit, a Zyrax technician shouted. Exactly, Marcus said. You will destroy our ship. No, Marcus said calmly. I'm about to destroy theirs. He slammed one final command. The ship screamed. Blue energy raced through the dreadnought, lighting up every vein, every wire, every crystal. The swarm reacted immediately, their nodes flashing in panic. The repeated pattern they relied on suddenly hit a wall, too much data, too much feedback. They couldn't handle it. One by one, their signals collapsed. Outside the window, the shroud swarm began to glitch, jerking violently, their bodies spasming as the hive mind lost control. The Queen stepped to the window. The swarm burned in a wave of energy, their bodies dissolving into green sparks that scattered into space like dying stars. The ship fell silent. Marcus slumped in exhaustion, breathing fast. He couldn't believe it worked. A Zyrax commander approached the Queen cautiously. Your Majesty, the humans saved the dreadnought. Another added, save the Empire's eastern fleet. Valria turned slowly toward Marcus. Her armor dimmed from battle-bright to soft glow. Her expression shifted. Something like respect. She walked to him until they stood inches apart. Marcus felt her presence like a wave of heat. Human Marcus Hale, she said, you have done what my generals could not. I just saw a different angle, Marcus said quietly. No, the Queen replied. You saw what others refused to see. Marcus exhaled shakily. So, do I still die in your chamber for the comment I made? A dangerous silence. Then, to everyone's shock, the Queen actually smiled. A small, sharp smile, but a smile. No, she said. You will not die. Her voice lowered, almost gentle. You spoke a compliment. You spoke truth. And you saved my people. She placed a hand on his shoulder, light, but powerful. For that, she said, you are no longer a simple engineer. The commanders bowed deeply. Marcus blinked. What am I then? Valria stepped closer. Her voice was soft but full of command. You are my honored advisor, the first human to ever stand at the throne. Marcus felt his heart thump loud. A human. A simple engineer. Advisor to the most powerful queen in the galaxy. Valria's eyes locked with his. Stay at my side, Marcus Hale, she said softly. For together, we will change the galaxy. And Marcus knew, in that moment, this was only the beginning.